here. Can anybody hear? Anybody can hear me? Just to confirm, I think I turned off my mic before. Probably that's why you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up. So let's start the class. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, I can hear now. It's working. So here, okay, perfect. So see that drawing. Let me turn up the volume here. Okay, so basically what happened. I'm not gonna take so much of your time here this morning because we want to move on to the watercolor washes, and I'm gonna basically the class agenda for today is to explain how to draw with the dry medium like pencil or charcoal or whatever you pick up, right? It doesn't involve the water or the solvent, right? Like to mix the colors or anything. So this is just a dry medium. There's a pencil. You can pick up any type of pencil. You can get the wooden pencil, or you can get a mechanical pencil, whatever you like. You feel comfortable, and just work with that. I like mechanical pencils better because they give you more control. You don't need to sharpen. There's a razor in the back, so you can erase it whenever you need, and then you can work instead of picking up the razor and erase it. So this is, I'm gonna actually, it's a basic stuff. What you need for the dry medium is a pencil, like mechanical pencil, wood eraser with a few leads in it. I can, let me show you. I have few, I think 2 3 leads, which is enough for the for this session. So I make sure that you have enough lead in there. Sometimes you run out of the lead, and then you know, if you don't have it, then is this pencil gonna be useless. So if you don't have no lead, you cannot draw. So as simple. But wooden pencil, if you have like 3 or 4, you still can go unless it gets very small. So let's move on. So this is basically, you have to practice something like this, like just go build your muscle memory, and get your hand comfortable with these type of shape, like go circle 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 and make a lot of circle. And then so people think, oh, this is just a circle, I can draw circle, but that's fine. I mean, like, but if you do a lot of circle, then you be very comfortable with the pencil and that type of drawing. And again, I can do with this, when you later on you can pick up a brush, right? I load my brush with the sepia color, which is a brown color. I can make a circle with the brush also. So that will help you in the long run. Like you, when you say, okay, this is just a circle, and it's very simple. No, this will help you with the later time when you do. Even though you stick with the dry media, you still need that practice to feel comfortable. You make yourself comfortable with drawing with the smaller shape, and then when you are comfortable with the smaller shape, bigger shape, then you break it down in a smaller shape. So here I see that it's so simple. When you practice, and then you can render a nice 3D type of shapes. You know, like a this basically what happened. Let me explain a little bit more here so you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let me render this, and so we can discuss. This is my second point, which I'm going to discuss. And yeah, so look at this. So the light is coming from here. Okay, so the light is coming from here. There's a lamp or anything here which projecting the light on this ball or anything you call it. This is when it hit to the certain, when the light hit the certain surface, it every shape or every whatever object, it react differently as what its shape is. So Now we are dealing in a circle, in a ball or whatever. I will explain in a later classes, maybe here briefly today. So when you project a light on this circle, basically it becomes a ball or anything like a round shape. So it reacts very differently with the light. As you can see, that there's a highlight here. That's what they call the highlight. Highlight, or it the reflection of the light, whatever you call it, but I we call it highlight in our terms. So that's what how the light will become when you project the light on a circle, like a round shape, right? That's how everything works. Now let me explain quickly. So this is the shape. That's a shape, and this is the art form. That's what the difference between these two, art form and the shape. So there's no light here. It's just a shape. So if I draw a circle, it's just a shape. But soon as I put a light on it, and the light is coming from here, let's project the light. Let me just go with the pencil, and I will explain quickly. This is the basic information you have to have if you are proceeding to any medium, any dry medium, or any watercolor or acrylic. This information you have to have, unless otherwise you're doing certain other type of uh, like abstract or other. Maybe you don't need that lot of information, but for more realistic, more surrealism type of work, you need that information. I mean, anyway, you need that information. So here, now it was a shape. This one, shape, and then soon as you project a light on it, and it becomes a art form, which is a more depth, more 3D type of look here. This is basic. You have to understand what is this, and practice at home when you have time. You have a pencil or pen or anything that you can blend it. See that a pencil is easy to blend, but if you're working with the, let's say, with a pen or a gel pen, it's a little bit harder for you to blend this unless you have a brush or something. So if I want to go with the gel pen, it kind of a little bit tough for me to uh, render this 3D shape. I mean the art form from the shape. See that how much time it takes? I'm doing the etching. Basically, the texture is called etching, and now I'm doing the cross etching. Here, there. See that how much time is taking? Like, uh, so you don't want to get involved with this type of stuff at this stage. You can do it later if you like. If you like the gel pen drawing, that's fine too. So that's how you create a uh, if you're using a gel pen or pencil or watercolor or acrylic too. I don't have the acrylic set up here, otherwise I will show you how to do in acrylic also. So in all these, the light is coming from here. The light is coming from here. So just keep in mind, this is the model of shape and the art form. Shape, this is the shape, and that's the art form right here. So as soon as you project the light on it, and it will create more depth, more 3D type of uh, uh, object. If you want to explain how to render a 3D shape, let's say if I go, let me give you an example quickly with a tree example. Actually, I'm going to do in a watercolor a tree here. That's a loose type of work, not too detailed. You can see how to make trees also. That will give you two. So here, there's some foliage here, there. And I will pick up some my sepia color, which is a dark brown color. And I will put a little bit branch here, branch there, here. There you go. Okay, so now the tree is ready, right? Like very basic type of shape. Now, what I will do, I'm gonna take a little bit of Payne's gray, which is not a black color, not a gray color. It's just a dark gray color, right? So what I will do, I'm gonna put this into my green mix, which is I have some green color here, and I will mix it up with a little bit Payne's gray, and then you start putting this dark color on the other side. I'm assuming the light is coming from here. So what happened, the foliage will block some light, the leaves and the branches, and it create the depth into this tree, uh, like that. So let's get some more dark color, put it here, put it there, there. Just drop it, drop, drop, drop. So you can see that now I can do the shadow also of the tree on the ground. There you go. And on the side of the trunk of the tree, I would put carefully a little bit more dark color so it create a little bit depth into the tree also. And now at this stage, if you want to go play more, you can go and do small work. You can create some more branches, or it just a secondary. But the basic, if you want to learn how to create a depth or a 3D type of shape, this is what you need basically. Like light color, let's say if I put a light green color, let's do the same thing. The circle I would do in the green color, so you will know basically what I'm talking about. Actually, I drift from the dry media to here. I'm gonna continue with the dry media again, and here see the green circle again, and I would pick up some Payne's gray, and I will put the Payne's gray on this side. Now maybe you guys are wondering why I'm leaving this side a little bit light. Maybe some of you know why I left this light. I will explain here actually in this example here with the circle. So let's I forgot to put the highlight, but I can use my white color to create the highlight here. So now I will put a dark color, very very opaque, very not. I didn't mix any colors in it. I mean, sorry, I didn't mix any water to it, and I would pick up straight from the tube, and I'm creating the shadow of this, the ball here, the green ball basically. It resembles to the tree. Now I can put some more dark value here, more dark. If you need more depth, you can put more dark, but there's a limit. If you do too much, then this shape will become the subject, whatever you're working on it, it become like a muddy. That's what happened with people when they mix too much color and on the paper, and they think, okay, you know what, I can do better at one point, then it will become muddy because you unconsciously, what happened when you mixing a yellow, let me just do the example quick. This is very important. You have to understand, if I put a yellow here, red here, and some blue here, let's get some nice French ultramarine, and look at this. So when you mixing all these three colors over and over on the canvas, what happened? It get muddy. This is what happening to the people's painting, and end up, I have a very common question like, hey, my painting get muddy, what I did wrong. Basically, you unconsciously mixing all these three colors in one on a paper, and try to fix the painting, and it would become like a potato. You can see that it's like not a very pleasant, although this is a beautiful color. I'm not saying that this is not a very good color. This is a beautiful, I use this color all the time, but in a proper way, in where I need it. If you put this color on an apple or orange, it looks awful, right? So you have to be careful. You where you need this color, where you want to apply this color. Yes, if I pick up this color and I would make a shadow of this sphere or ball or green ball, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But if I put this color here and all over in this sphere, this will become muddy, and then all the purpose will be gone. Like I need this sphere to be green or the ball green. You can't have that green ball. Then you will have maybe ball of this color, or which is fine. You can see that I use the sepia color, and I have a different approach here, so that's fine. But I wanted this sphere or ball to be green. I can't have this here, otherwise it'll look like this. Okay, so any questions so far, Neela, Gigi, and Catherine, Rowena? Okay, if any questions so far, please let me know. I can answer your question, or we can take a little bit 2 minutes break here. So understand the light. Basically, what I explain here, the light, the texture, the shape, how the shape becomes into the art form. This is a lot of information in there. If you pay attention, it's just not a circle. It's a lot of information here. I cover the light, I cover the texture. I cover how to make a circle, how to make a basic shape, and then I render quickly a tree, which you can see it requires a little bit more attention how to create a loose tree or something. Anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna close this because otherwise it'll take up so much time. I like to teach this. I would prefer, honestly, I would prefer to spend more time here instead of going on a watercolor. Basically, this information, it comes here. This all comes here. So if you lacking here and you don't have enough information here, then you'll be a challenge here. You'll be challenged here. You'll be challenged here. So please make sure that you understand. If you have any questions or if you have any concern, just send me a message on an Instagram page or whatever, and I will explain further what needs to be done here, how to improve. And next class, if you need more time, let me know. I can spend more time in the drawing and sketching session also. Okay, let's move on to the last class. I have these paintings from the last class we done. So it's totally dry now. Actually, we showed these are the basic painting. There's just no, I mean, very minimal light here. So you get away with the drawing and sketching. Only the drawing and sketching is here because I was keep painting and painting. If I take this off, it's still you have a painting. Actually, if I take these birds off, you still have a painting. So basically, the idea was to how to blend colors, how to make mix colors on a paper and render a basic painting. Okay, let's go to the other painting we did here. Again, this is a very basic painting, and I dropped some water. I don't know, you guys remember it builds up some cauliflower, so that's what the cauliflowers is. That's why a lot of people they avoid their watercolor. If you drop a water or something by mistake, if you have a water here on a cross the painting and you picking up the water and you coming here, then by mistake if you have so much water loaded on the brush and you drop a droplet, this is what happened. So please remember, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful texture. It's such a good. I like it actually. I purposely create some texture. Let me show you what it looked like. Look at this beautiful texture build up. just because of the water, is pushing the color, and the black color, and then the water basically is penetrating in a pigment. So that's why it create a lot of the drama like that. So anyway, let's go. And then I did some purple color, dark purple, put some cadmium yellow, and put some ultramarine blue on the foreground. I kept the foreground very small. It just that's how I like the. Actually, sometimes you wanna explain more into the sky, not on the foreground, not on the midground. So I actually, when I see that all these washes, it looks really good. So I said, let me keep the foreground, midground smaller portion, and which is fine. You can do that, and I put some birds on it. So I don't know, you guys remember, but this is the painting from the last week. Okay, okay, let's go, and I will do a quick demo of how to create the light. Basically, those two paintings were just a flat painting. There was no, I mean, there is some light in it. I'm not saying there, but there's no, like, it's either it's a morning or it's the evening. So now I'm gonna do a quick demo for you guys. So I'm gonna explain everything on the way, how to create, how to control the light on certain landscape painting, and uh, yeah. Let's cut this canvas, and I don't want to cut right in the middle. Not a very good practice. Try to keep it either here, or you go here. You keep your foreground more, or you keep your foreground less. It's all up to you. So the horizon line, I can keep it here, I can keep it here, I can keep it here. Because I have no reference, right? I'm just doing with my imagination, and you can keep it here. Although if you have a reference, you can change it. But at this stage, I wouldn't advise to change the reference too much, otherwise it can be a challenge for you. So let's put something here. Let's put a structure or house or something here. Let's put this small house here. Now you need some kind of a drawing skills here when you do some structure like this, because this has some kind of a the shape. Like, see that this, like a trapezoid here, there's a triangle here, there's a square here. So let me quickly explain this, what this is. So here, let's go back to the sketching page. So basically, this is the roof, right? That's a one shape. Then the triangle is another shape, the square is another shape, and then rectangle is another shape. That's how these things are built, basically. A lot of people have problems. A lot of people do the roof like this. Sometimes I see in the classes roof, because they they don't have control on the perspective, on the proportion, how to control. So that's how I end up. If you don't understand how to render that type of shapes, so you be confused with this shape, or maybe this shape, or maybe this shape. So you have to be a little bit, had to have a knowledge of drawing these shapes. Let's say if I put a square, triangle, trapezoid, rectangle, circle, what else? Let's do the rectangle like this. So you need to practice these shape. Practice, 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 and get it more, have more control on it. Now let's talk about a little bit. If you're doing a landscape painting or you're doing a cityscape, then you have to have this knowledge, right? They have to know how to draw these type of shape, and then you apply here. Now here you need some kind of a perspective. Also, you need to have a perspective knowledge, how the perspective works. So there's two type of perspective. One, let me explain quickly, then I will render this painting. So since we are talking this type of stuff. So let's go here. So this is my, basically that my eye is here, my eye level. This is my eye level, right? So if I make a cross here, I'm gonna erase it, don't worry. So this is my eye level, is basically every, I'm standing here. If you realize like how you take, when you taking a picture, where are you in the picture? So I am here, my head is here in the picture. So this how, and everything is exploded, or whatever you, convergence point I would call. Sometimes they call, I call convergence point, because everything is converging here. So if I go here, there, 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 there. That's how this perspective works. Actually, this is one way of explaining the perspective, where you standing, where your head is, where your eyes are. So that's how I see when I'm looking at the house. I'm standing here at this painting. I'm not standing here, actually, I'm standing here. So this is that point they call the convergence point, basically, or you call vanishing point or whatever. Okay, so convergence point, that's everything is converging here, because I'm standing here in the picture, which you don't see me, but I was standing here, took a picture, and that's how everything will become. So let's say if I want to make a path, you see the line here. So if I want to make a path here, this path will follow along with this line. If the path is straight, it coming here. If the path is here, then the path will follow here like this. This will be the path. If the path is here going to the house, this will be my path. Like, see that if I put a fence here, one fence here, one fence here, one fence here, one fence here. Get smaller and smaller and smaller toward the convergence point. I would put one fence here, one fence here, one fence here, one fence here, and get smaller. So that's what happening in a perspective. So when you dealing in a perspective, this is what the perspective works. So okay, and the other type of perspective, just remember, keep this information. I'm going to repeat this on the next Sunday's class. I'm going to keep repeating, because if you are interested in doing a landscape painting or the cityscape painting, you should have this knowledge. You have to understand, otherwise, trust me, you will be doing a flat painting all the time. You don't want to deal with the house, or you don't want to deal with the perspective, so you can end up doing that type of painting, which is fine. I mean, this is a beautiful painting, right? But as compared to this painting, this will be more challenge here. If you said, now I want to put a house here, I want to put some structure here, I want to put something here, then you require this type of knowledge. You need to have this knowledge, otherwise you will have a problem here rendering that type of painting as compared with this. Okay, let's move on. And so I hope you understand. I know it's kind of a little bit dry subject, but since we're dealing in a perspective or landscape painting, you should have the idea how the things work. Now the other type of perspective is, it's called atmospheric perspective. So let's say there's a hills in the background, like there's a house and there's a hills in the background. So these hills are, let me just do with the brush, actually explain more better with the brush. Let's get some orange color. I'm using a cadmium orange. I mix it up with my Payne's gray, so cadmium orange, and I would put vaguely these hills in the background. See that hills are, now I put some more Payne's gray in it, a little bit darker. Don't put too dark, because this is just to explain what's in the background. You don't need to do a very fine detailed work here, because that's what you call the atmospheric perspective, because it's there but you can see it, like it's so far. It just to explain that here, yeah, there's a mountain in the background, and that's it. You go a little bit put more color here. Don't put too dark. You want to keep it light as possible, not too light, not too dark. So here, let me put some water here. Let's keep this hard edge out of here. Let's put some water at the edges. Remember from the last class, I explained that if you want to take this hard edge out, you put some water at the edge and it will take care of it by itself. You don't need to do anything. You just go rub your brush against the edge, and it will become a soft edge. Make sure your brush is dry, your brush is very clean. All you have to do is just rub the brush against this wash, and this become very soft edge. Here, I took out more water out of the brush like that. You keep, or better yet, keep a paper tissue or a paper towel, and make sure that your brush is very clean and dry, and then you smudge it, like just blend against this wash right here. I clean my brush again, clean my brush again, clean my brush again. See, the brush is so dry right now. It's creating a little bit dry brush marks here. Let me just go closer so you guys can see. Look at this. See that right here? Because it becomes so dry, it becomes creating a dry brush mark because the paper is dry, right? So now this is another type of perspective, which is called atmospheric perspective, and this is the other perspective, which is involved with the convergence point and the vanishing point, whatever you call. It means the same way. Convergence point, converge, everything is coming here and is converging on one spot. This is what this perspective is. Let me erase this draft here, the circle and all that. Although I can leave it. Let's clean it up a little bit so we can do our clean washes here on the sky now. And we will control the light. Basically, this painting is all about how to control the light and a little bit perspective, so give you the idea how to control your drawing. Or I'm going to keep this, you know what, let's erase this path also. Forget about this path because it'll make it raise more questions and everything in your mind, so I will just erase everything. See how handy this mechanical pencil is. I have a eraser in the back. All I did, pick it up, just wipe it off everything. Now let me get I want to show you something else also. I have these two brushes. I bought it basically when I started. I bought it to do the watercolor, but I never used these brushes actually, and I end up using this as my broom, so I don't need to touch my painting. And same thing with this brush also. So that's how I use these brushes now these days. Never put a water in these brushes because I find out later this is not the right brushes for do the big washes. Basically, I thought these are the mop. Although it says a mop brush, but it's too big actually. It is so big, and it maybe if you want to do some stroke like this with these brushes, that's fine, which I don't do that type of work. So these brushes are never been used, but I use for the as a broom. Here, put it on the side. Okay, so now I'm assuming the light is coming from here on this painting. So light is coming from here, and I will control the light as it's coming from where, right? So let's do a basic now you see that mountains are almost dry in the background, or whatever you call, I would call the mountain is all dry now. I will put some water on the canvas, on the paper, sorry. A little bit water. Again, same thing, blending, mixing on the paper, a little bit more water, and I will put some maybe a Prussian blue, tone it down with any other color, any little bit brown color. I don't want the Prussian blue to be on the canvas, I mean on the paper. So here, one stroke, the other stroke, let the water paper. Now here I want to put some more straight from the tube. I will put on the top. It'll become because the sky it get darker when he goes up, and it get lighter. Now see that this edge was going to be dry in no time. So what I did, I just clean my brush, right? Uh, Clean my brush, load it up with a little bit water, and then I will smudge it at the edge of this wash here. A little bit, go on. Use the brush as its full potential. See that I can use this brush. This is a number 12 brush, the round brush, right? I can use for the big washes, and then when I picked it up and just go with the pointy edge on it, although it's not a very expensive brush, so and yes, you have to use the brush on it for its full strength, like just use it. So here with the fine point, I can do a small jewelry work here at the edges of these mountains. Okay, here put some color. If you think that you put too much pigment, just push it out, push it a bit, just push it out from the canvas. Let the paint out of the paper. If you look what I did again, same mistake I did from the last week. Actually here water was, let me show you the bench, actually what the workspaces look like, then you guys realize what is the mistake is. See, the water is here. Water is here. When I dip my brush and I go over my painting and I droplet, I put a drop here. Now let's try to fix this. I don't want to fix this, but let's try fix it. I put some French ultramarine because it's still wet, right? Maybe I can fix this problem. Yeah, looks like it's okay now. Because the once it's dry, then it's so hard to fix it. You cannot fix it. Let's use some cadmium orange. Let's create some more drama to the sky. Since we're working in the blending color, so let's put some cadmium orange. Okay, not too much. Let's pick up some color because I put too much cadmium orange, which I don't want it. Otherwise, we're not here for the sky. We are mostly explaining the washes, how to blend the washes, how to work with the perspective, how to work with the light. So that's what the whole idea is here. Now it's done now. The wash on the top. I'm pretty much done now. What I will do, I will go put some water here in the foreground. Not too much water because I need some dry brush mark here. So I will get some Naples yellow. This Naples yellow basically it little bit different because I'm using this made by Van Gogh. Van Gogh colors I sometimes use. So if you drag your brush, look at this. I create a nice dry brush marks which I needed later on. I can use for any object or something. But here, because it's farther down, this is too close to me, the foreground, so I will keep this dry brush marks open. I don't want to blend too much, otherwise it'll become like this. But here is fine. I don't need anything to draw here at the edge of this house or horizon where the horizon line is. But here I might create some objects here on the foreground. So I purposely, what I did, actually I left some white marks here on the foreground. Let me show you, actually. Let me go closer so you guys can see. Here there's a dry brush mark here, there, here, there. Okay, now almost first wash is done. We did the mountains, we did the sky. Not the best, but it's okay to just explain what it is, because I put some Prussian blue, I dropped some water. Then I put some ultramarine blue, and then I put some cadmium orange. So I overdo a little bit on the sky, which is fine. We're not explaining. We're not here for this, but basically, my goal is try to explain how the light works. Okay, so now we're assuming the light coming from here. I will just go a little bit more darker. You know what? I will go. Let's mix the purple. Let's mix the purple, red, and a little bit Prussian blue. Red and Prussian blue will give me a nice purple color. So what I will do, I will put in front of this house. Very thin wash, not a very dark wash. Otherwise, what happen? It will defeat the purpose of what are you try to do. Because what my goal is, I'm trying to keep this house as a white color. Unless you want to give some color later on, that's fine. So when you certain surfaces, when the shadow comes to the on different surfaces, it reacts differently. So white color is mostly like more paler, more like nice clean color, right? If there's a dark color here, then it you can get away with the dark color. But since we're dealing this house as a white house, so it will be you have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to put too dark color where it's blocking the light. So I will go get some Payne's gray, and I would put, you know what, let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing actually. Let's zoom in here. So it'll be more clearly here. There you go. More. There you go. Perfect. So now see that brush? I have a nice tip of the brush. This is a round brush number 8. So here I put at the edge of the trim of the roof. I'll put a little bit dark color. So because that's where most of the light is being blocked, and rest is all nice and light color. Sorry. Now I will take some Payne's gray, a dark Payne's gray, and I will put some on the trim of the door. You can, I mean, you don't need to do a lot of work. Just to explain how to keep it looks much better, right? So let's get some more Payne's gray. I will put on the tip of this roof here and the edge of the trim, and there you go. I'm done. I don't want to do too much, otherwise it will be too tight of work. So now, because it's a dark value, right? There's a dark value. I would put a little bit more dark value at the edge, so this will be more visible to our eye. So because our focus is mostly here, this is our focal point, right? So I will put some more dark value. Take some more. Now I took more Payne's gray, and I will put a little bit more Payne's gray here to get this house more visible, right? More dark value you put on the background. Let's say, let me pick up some more Payne's gray. I'll show you actually what it is. So if I put a more Payne's gray at the edge, look at this, how dark color this is become because I picked it up straight from the tube. And you can do these as a trees or whatever, like maybe a bushes here at the edge of this house, and put some here also, a little bit, not too much, otherwise it'll be too much here. Now I'll take some. I have a nice green color which I don't keep in my palette, but for the sake of the class I kept some. Now I put a little bit green color here. Let me just go here. Let's blend this dark color into that green color. So we don't want that dark green color there, right? So let's blend this in. Let's blend this here also, but don't mix that green color straight on that dark color. Like keep some. So I will pick up some more green color and just put it a little bit, drop here, a little bit here, there, so it shows that it some bushes or trees are there. Don't block that the dark color all the way down, okay? So because all the purpose will be gone. So now I have some green color, so I will just put some here, there, maybe. Let's put a tree here on the edge. Oops, sorry, I'm out of the canvas now. Here, that's how you make the trees. Actually, if you go tree like this, it not gonna look good. Actually, it you have to be a little bit more control. Basically, you I would call it control type of work, although it look like a loose. But you when you build the confidence and you have more idea how to mix color on the canvas, how to create different shapes, that's how you work. You quickly work. And with the see that I'm using the brush as the put a brush here like this, right? And when I go make a small leaves or foliage, and then I work with the edge of the brush. Just go quickly, put some trees here. There you go. And now the beautiful part is I would take a nice sepia color on my brush, which is a dark brown color, and I will just go with the edge of the brush. You can see that the brush create a little bit edge, and I will put some the 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 branches and on the tree, which I don't prefer you guys do that, but just for the sake of the class, is actually it's too dry. I would just along with this painting I'm explaining. So if you want to draw trees, you can draw trees also, but not, don't go into too much detail here. Here, there. Bring this tree a little bit down. Okay, maybe here. Let's put some dark color here, there. Up, up, up. Oops, let me go zoom out. There you go. See that now the painting is evolving. If I crop more with the zoom, you can tell the painting is already is there. Actually, it's so bright. It has so much contrast because of the colors with the because you're controlling the light. It's not a is just look at this painting. Let me go zoom out. Look at this painting, right? And look at this painting. So bright, actually, it has so much contrast in it just because you are working with the light here. Let me just go zoom out here. There we go. Okay, so now I done this and I'm ready to work with the smaller stuff. Now I still have some paint sepia color on my brush. Always when you make sure that when you're working on the smaller stuff, instead of picking up a fine brush or brush like this, let me show you a brush like this. Instead of picking up this brush, which require more time to go back and forth, because this contains more pigment, more water, you can work more longer time with one pigment, right? But as compared with this brush, if I go pick up the color, right, on the, although there's nothing wrong with the brush, but the thing is, if I go work with this brush, it keep me going back and forth because it's empty, it's dry, it get dry, the water will dissipate, or it has a tendency to get dry quicker, and it will I have to go back and forth, pick up. So if you want to avoid that, then you can go work with this brush with the tip of the brush. right? It's almost same thing as you can see. Although this is, I understand this is more. I use sometime if I'm drawing a boat, I use this liner brush for my ropes and small, stuff on around the boat. So let's use this. I'll show you. Let's erect a tree here with this smaller brush. Let's zoom in. Actually, let's zoom in here. Here, here, here. Let's put a tree here and I will show you something else also here. Now, done, and I will pick up some green color. Same brush. I'm dragging the brush where the branches are going. So if the tree is hanging here, my brush, it goes from here to here like that, right? Try to do this. If the branch is going here and you want to keep the branch here, just go here like that, like this, like this, like this. If it's going up, you just go drag your brush out, up. If the branch is going this way, you keep the brush here like this. But don't do too much, otherwise it'll show, right? Now I will pick up some Payne's gray, mix it up with the green color, and then I will start putting on because the light, we're assuming the light is coming from here. So let's get some more straight from the tube Payne's gray. I put it at the edge of the trunk because it's wet, right? So I can mix the colors right on the canvas. Here, blend more here, here. That's it. And if you think, okay, you know what, I want to do more and I want to make this tree more realistic, pick up a cadmium yellow. Pick up a little bit cadmium yellow and you can start putting on the edge of this the tree. Actually, this is a deep hue, more darker, more opaque type of cadmium yellow, which I don't want to use this, but it's okay. So you can put a little bit more cadmium yellow here. Let's use a different type of pale hue. Let's see what this, yeah, this is much better actually. This is much better. You just drop, get the yellow and drop here, there. Let me just, yeah, I hope everybody can see it. You don't need to zoom. Here, drop. Let's delete this arrow here. There you go. Okay. So that's what I did it with this brush actually. All that tree, I built it up. This is a number one liner brush, round liner brush. Let me show you. Cheap brush I ordered from Amazon. So here, this is done. This tree is done by this brush alone. I didn't use any other brush. So now let's get back to the painting again. See that most of the thing, the first wash, the second wash is all dry now. So I would just start working. Now I want to explain you actually. See the shadow of this tree is going this way, right? Now it goes, maybe I can put the shadow here on this side of the house like this. The tree shadow like this. There you go. See that that's how you create some of the stuff on your painting. It create more interest, more drama to your painting. So that tree is casting a shadow which goes here, right here, and then it travel into the roof, and it goes here. You're probably thinking, oh, Moment ruins the house and now it doesn't. To just to understand, don't be worried about the painting is going to be ruined or whatever, but just to understand these things, that's how you do certain things to make your painting have more depth, more drama to your painting, it looks better, that's what you do. You go create a shadow with the Payne's gray or a purple color. You go here, make it darker, and then you very lightly, you don't need to do very dark color here, otherwise then it will defeat the purpose. Just keep it very light, a purple color or the Payne's gray, and then you just put a little bit dab here, and it shows that the tree, the shadow of the tree is coming. There you go. This is what is all about the light, the texture, the mixing color, how to control the perspective, how to control the light, how to create the foliage. This is basically all in this painting. If you either you do a flat painting like this, like we did before, or you do these paintings. So same knowledge involved from here to the flat painting. But if you don't want to get involved in the perspective and this the shadow, the light, and just that would the first painting that I done in the first class, it would be much easier for you to handle if you don't want to deal with the more complex or more complicated stuff. Now let's go and finish this painting. It's almost finished. So here, let me just crop it a little bit more so you don't see the tapes around it. There you go. So I'm done with the painting, right? Like I don't want to do more, but let's say I say I want to put the roof. I want to make it a cadmium orange, very pale. Not I'm not taking so much of a cadmium orange, just a little bit cadmium orange, and you can put it on the roof. There you go. And just leave it. Leave. If you think if you put too much, pick it up with a brush. Pick it up like this, and it. See that the layer I put it on before with the shadow is still there because it was dry already. If I put this cadmium orange on the wet layer, which I made the shadow of the tree here on the house, it blends in and it will become darker because of the it called more actually there's another technical term for it. It's called glazing also. When you pick up a very light wash with the lots of water in it, very thin layer, when you just put a thin layer on it, it won't disturb the layer, the darker layer underneath, but it will take over on the top, and that the layer of on the bottom, it remains the same. Actually, it doesn't harm anything, it just stays the same. Okay, so now I'm done with the most of the stuff idea to explain how to control the light. Now you can see that this part of the house is more lit up. This part is more like it blocking the light, so it'll be a little bit darker, but you can tell this shadow because of the trim of the house. It has more shadow here. I purposely put, you can feel it, like it, you can tell that there's a light coming, very harsh light. It's not like almost like a 2 p.m. or something, 3 p.m. light. Or maybe it's a morning light, maybe 10 a.m. or something. So, but the light is so bright, you can see the white of the patch, which I use the white layer of the paper. Actually, this is your first layer. Basically, the white of the paper is the first layer. People think, oh, this is the white of the paper. No, this is the first layer of your painting. And so you preserving the transparency, that's what they call the technical term, that you keeping the transparency. Let the layers peeking from your painting. This is what your first layer, right? And it's still there actually. And then I put a gray color, then I left white here, then I put some blue color on the top, or the cadmium orange or Prussian blue, and then I erect some trees, some dark color, Payne's gray here on the side of the house, so it'll be develop more contrast to it. I put another tree here. So, and then now I'm done with all the layers. I have some colors in my palette. So what I will do, I will just create some some type of anything. You just put maybe stones or something on the front of the house. On the foreground, I will put a little bit dark value. Just keep it very light. You don't need to do a dark, otherwise it'll show right away. It will defeat the purpose of the painting. Our focus is here. If you work too much here in the foreground, then people won't look at the where you may where you working most of the time. So you make sure that you're just helping this portion of the painting by doing all this around it. So here, let's put some more, a little bit more gray color because the light is coming from here, and I'm assuming I'm just doing a enjoying right now here, doing some doodling. Let's here, let's put some here, shadow, a little bit here. Just to explain, if this ground is flat, right, there's no bumps, there's nothing in the ground, on the foreground, I will keep it as is. I will just make a very smooth wash all the way up to here. But since it's more, I want to create more drama to my painting, so I would put a little bit rocks or something in the front of it. This helps you basically, this part of the painting, when you do the seascape, that will help you in such a nice way when you know how to create a dry brush mark. And at the end of the painting on the seascape, just put a little bit dark value where the light is coming from. Keep the light part is open, don't paint over, and it create a nice rocks on the painting, which you need, definitely need on the seascapes when you're doing. That's a one subject you have to be get yourself trained if you dealing on the seascape. Let me just soften the edges. If it is too harsh, just go rub against the edge of the, as I explained you so many times, just rub it and then get it the edge softer. There you go. Okay, so this is done. I'm painting is basically is ready, right? But now let me just zoom out a little bit more. Oops. Here, now I can do, it's up to you. You can go put some animals here, maybe some chickens on the front of the house. Let's put some chickens here, which I'm not explaining too much, but let's put some chickens here, there. A little bit. It's too fine work, so if you want to get more attention, there's a rooster, there's a chicken, there's maybe just put some pigeons here. Let's put a spot, so, and maybe some pigeons are coming here, there, maybe here. And the most important thing is the shadow. The shadow, just put a streak and it will explain they're sitting on the ground, they're not flying. So let me just zoom in, and so I will tell you what it looked like. So this is all you need basically. You don't need to explain too much. Just a little bit shadow, and I made a little bit shape of the rooster here, as you can see, this one. And now the list is goes on and on. You can put whatever you want to put, like maybe you can put a cow here or goat here, or let's put the cow here, just make it more interesting. So I would put a cow here. Let's get some more Payne's gray. You know what? Let's use the other brush actually. I'm going to use the liner brush. It gives me more control basically. And we use sepia color, and There you go. Not too much. You don't need to explain too much. And the shadow, because it's a big. They're small. These are small objects. I mean, like chickens are smaller in size, so small shadow. The cow is bigger, so it has more bigger shadow. And if you want to go explain more, you can put a little bit dark value underneath, so it shows like more depth into the his body or whatever you call. There you go. And let's pick up some white color, famous white color. And I will take us straight from the tube a little bit, put it here, get some more texture to the cow. And that's it. And I have the color in my brush, so might as well use it. Put some streaks here, there, and a little bit. This tree is too harsh, so I will go put a little bit white color, just a dry brush mark like this, and it create a lighting effect also because the light is coming from here, right? So I can put some wherever you see if it's too dark, just rub that brush against that dark surface, and it creates a light effect also, and it it tone down that the dark color that you by mistake you put I put it in initially. Let's shape it up this cow also a little bit. There you go. So this is what this painting is about. How much time we have? I think we are running out of time, but it's okay. Now let's go. This is the painting here. Done. Very basic and simple painting. There's nothing too much involved. All you have to understand the, let me explain here. A canvas, you know what, let me go to the other page. I will explain the perspective a little bit more because you might be, it's kind of a little bit challenging subject, but you need it, right? Oops, what happened? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, here. Okay, so here my sketchbook again. Draw a canvas, a paper. Restrict yourself at on a. Just imagine this is. Let me zoom out. Let me zoom out. That's your sketchbook. Shrink here. Your sketchbook is big like this, right? My sketchbook or your sketchbook. Now, see that this, I will shrink it here. I will make some boxes like this, the canvas. You can go with the square canvas. You can go oval. You can go round. So basically you're practicing, and meantime you're restricting yourself. These are your small painting. Another painting here, I can do a bigger. When you have more control, then you start getting bigger and bigger. So if you are doesn't have too much control on your drawing and sketching skill, and you working on the big page, you will, trust me, you will have challenge all the time, because to rendering a big space, it requires more time, more energy. You have to be more advanced user. But since as a beginner, I will keep my portion of my painting on the sketchbook around here. Now you do put a horizon line, and I was standing here. This is your convergence point. So that's how you understand. You go, you put the lines here. This is your basically your. Let me go zoom in. That is your perspective. Now, if I go here, put horizon line here, and I put convergence here, everything will go from here. Oh, sorry. Just here, get confused a little bit. There you go. So this is what your convergence point is. If I go erect some circles, this is your convergence is like a web, same thing here. Circle, then you put a bigger circle, then you put a bigger circle here, bigger circle. This is what the perspective is. So if you are standing, let's say you are standing in a subway in Toronto and the train is coming from here, that's what it looks like. The subway, the roof is exactly look like this. This is how the subway is because it's a tunnel, right? So this roof like this, you standing here on the platform waiting for the train. There are some other people standing. The train is coming from here. Let me zoom in so you guys understand. Here, and there's some commercials here, and this is the tracks here. That's a platform edge which create a little bit dark value. Oops. And this is the tracks. Some commercials here in the background. So this is what the model of the perspective convergence point. If I'm standing here, I don't want to stand here, otherwise I'm just assuming that. But in a painting like this, you can make a horizon line here, or you can make it here. Put yourself in a painting. Where are you standing? Are you standing here? Are you standing here? Are you standing here? Where are you standing? Once you're standing here, then everything will converge from here. This is how the basic perspective works. And I will explain more complex type of perspective later in the class. So this is what they call the vanishing point. Vanishing point, which is, something disappear, it vanish, simple. Don't be get involved with the fancy wordings or whatever. Vanishing point, and you can do a convergence point also, which everything is converging on one point. Name of the dark gray color. Okay, Payne's gray, I use the dark color. That's a good question. You can pick up anything. I have the let me just grab actually I have a Winsor Newton Payne's gray, which is yeah, Winsor Newton. Let me show you. Good. I always ask questions. Please, if you have a issue, this is the Payne's gray I use. If you have a problem reading it, let me know. I bought it a long time ago, and it's a lot of, as you can see, it's a 21 ml. So it's been with me almost, I would say, year, 1 year, yeah. So now see that it's going, it's coming. Maybe I use 70% of it. So that's a color you need, Payne's gray. Made by Winsor Newton and series 1, not very expensive tube. So there you go. Okay, I hope that clears your question. Okay, so any question about the perspective or anything about other stuff? So let me just quickly explain a few more things, and then we're gonna stop the streaming because it's almost 11:15. If you guys want to go a little bit more, I'm okay with that. So we can spend another 10-15 minutes. I have no time to render another painting. So although I planned it, as you can see, I taped it in the middle of the paper. I was going to do another painting, but no time. We'll do next week. Actually, I will do a seascape. I will show you how to control the light, almost like that painting, but it will be a seascape here. How to create the waves, how to create the boulder, like I did here, very simple way. Same thing in more detail, more techniques how to create the structure on seascape. So always remember one more thing. I want to add this. If you're working on the landscape, rural site, or anything that has require, so you have to have some knowledge of how to work with a atmospheric perspective, how to render these mountains in the background, how to work with the sketching, what is this the shape is, what is square, how to triangle, the circle, how to create small shapes in your painting. That is, if you small shapes is fine, you can get away, but at least for how to draw trees, how to erect trees, and how to do a little bit sketching, and the washes, how to, which I explained in the previous class, how to mix wash, how to blend colors, and all that stuff. So please uh, keep in mind anything you are working on it. You, if you're working on the flowers, please, yeah, that would be a different approach. Which flower you want to work on? You working on the roses? You want to working on a different lilies or whatever? And keep like three, four subjects, right? Like even though you're drawing a flower, so keep some flowers in your list and draw those flowers and get a master of it. So if you draw flowers, you draw trees, you draw houses, you draw cows, chickens, or seascape, and then most likely you will be the evolution time of your, I mean the progress time, I would call, the progress time will slow down. You, because you are trying so many things in a limited time, so you won't get perfect, but you can get perfect on working on one subject matter. And then once you have more control on the washes, how to keep the white of the paper, and how to control washes and everything, then you will see you have more energy, more less time you can render some of those stuff. Then you can try, but please at this stage don't jump on so many subjects, because every subject requires your attention. Even though, see the rose, if I, let me just quickly do something here. If I do a rose here, right, like on this canvas, let's, so rose needs a lot of brush works. Although I practice rose, I try to get the rose done, because the rose is a very complicated uh, you know objects or whatever, and it just need more attention. You need to practice. If you want to work on the rose, just draw rose, rose, rose. Now I'll get some Payne's gray. I had some cadmium red on it, so I'll put some control the light. Let's go here. Let's get some green color. Put some leaves here, here, there, and some brown color, which is a sepia. I now put this here. So that's, it's quickly you can get away, but you need a lot of practice. How to control the washes, how to control the light, and then how to control the proportion, like that type of stuff. Then you can be able to do something like that. But if you're working in rows, rows, rows all the time, then you will be get master of drawing roses with a watercolor. Okay, let's get this out of here. Let's come back to the painting. So just to basically to add this, because I want to give you the hint what you have to keep it in your on your wish list, like uh, 3 4 subject matter, and that's it. Okay, any questions so far? We're gonna let's see, what time is it? Almost 11:30. So 5 more minutes. If any question, please let me know. Next week we will be rendering the seascape, and I will touch some flowers also. We're gonna do some rendering some flowers also. Okay, just maybe a few more flowers, maybe lilies or uh, some more flowers. So we're gonna do flowers, and we're gonna do some seascape also. But today, uh, blending, atmospheric perspective, vanishing point, the light, the small object, how to create trees, and that type, and the foreground, the boulders or stones or whatever, uneven surface I would call. So that's it. I guess if you have still have any questions, please let me know in the next class. Write it down, send me a text. If you want to send me your work, send me on my Instagram page, which is, let me put down here in the chat. Send me the message. There you go. There you go. So you can go here on the Moments Art. Follow me on the Instagram so I can answer your question, and I can tell you what you can do to improve uh, your painting business. Okay, we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming, and I really enjoy the class, and hopefully you understand what I try to explain in the class. I know it is too much information in a very short amount of time, but just break it down, working on one thing one thing at a time, and get a master of it. Like I keep saying, that don't jump on everything in the painting. If you don't want to go these stuff, you'll be okay. You don't need to do this portion of the painting. Just remember this portion of the painting and forget about this bit. Just keep the wash very even, like this in the middle, and that's it. Leave the foreground alone. Don't need to touch. You don't need to do a lot of. I was just showing you that you can keep your painting busy. You can keep. If I take off these chickens and bird, and that painting will like very calm, less active painting. Okay, so let's